Hey everybody, welcome back to another RCT2 review. Today we are into the semifinals. This is semifinal match one. Well, we've already looked at the Tile Inspector's entry, and now we'll jump over to my team's entry. This is Logan's run, the Siege of Frostguard, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Extreme, who was the 80% share builder on this park. Welcome in.
Hello, glad to be here. Thank you for having me on this.
Absolutely. So this is a pretty cool one. I've got to pause for a reason, so we're gonna unpause it now so we can kind of see the start of the reveal. But why don't you talk a little bit about the park and the concept?
Yeah, so basically I think this was one of the first concepts I came into head to head with, was this sort of idea of this big steampunk ice map. And we sort of went from there. It was, I think, decided to be a playoffs map from quite early on, I think. And
Yeah,
Bubsy jumped on. Sort of showed some sort of concept art that I'd seen that I quite liked. Bubs jumped on this as well. Really wanted to build on this, so he sort of started off the map. And then I think we sort of had this idea for a secondary sort of theme to tie in with this sort of like siege army attacking at the gates and having this big sort of ice wall that would collapse when you open the park and reveal sort of what's behind it.
yeah, it's a cool entry. You get this kind of cool battle scene here with the kind of mastodon kind of things and all these
Yeah.
phalanx of people, and then you have this cool drill thing coming along, which is pretty impressive. It makes for a good
Mm.
starting scene, and I think I don't know if you guys timed it well with the coasters they're launching right at the same time, but it is a good choice. I feel like.
Yeah, I think that was the intention, either the launch or the zero G. I think who Zara, who was on this as well. He was really instrumental in getting all the hacks working, doing the coaster layout, I think.
For sure. And architecturally, it's got sort of this like, well, we called it frostpunk, but sort of like this steampunky Asian esque
Yeah.
feel to it in some spots.
Yeah, it sort of meshes with the Asian roof objects
Yeah,
throughout.
is this big mass here was kind of the first bits that were built. I think this
Yeah,
was some of what Bubsy put together, and then we kind of
that
expanded out
was
from here.
that was basically what we started with this, and then we did a VC session with Zara and Bubs to expand out the map and sort of map out what it would look like.
Yeah, and then this sort of whole village followed, and all these
Mm,
different
mm.
turbines and things like that. I think this area back here, especially this kind of big red building here, feels some of the most fleshed out of
Yeah,
all of the park.
yeah. This is what basically my first building on the map, pretty much, and then I expanded and fleshed it out from there and connected to the back of the building that Bubs had built.
Amazing how
So yeah, this
useful
is.
those objects are.
Oh, I know. It was quite fun doing this huge building at the very start.
Yeah, it is. I love the form of this one. It's a
Mm.
cool looking structure. Kind of sets the tone of this back half of the map, and just some of the cool elements here with the this big kind of almost icebreaker looking
Yeah,
boat here.
yeah. The boat was sort of. I don't know. I had an early idea of doing sort of the Nautilus kind of boat, but something a bit more sort of dark and brooding and steampunky, I suppose.
But I like that it's red because I think a lot of the
Mm.
boats always default to either grays and browns and blacks, and the map is surprisingly colorful for a steampunk type
Yeah,
theme, which I like.
yeah. I tried to do something different with each building to sort of give
Mhm.
them character instead of just sort of pasting the same few
This
sort of structures everywhere.
this drill thing was cool. This ice melting
Mm.
turbine. That's
Yeah, yeah, that was one of the early pieces. I think we did have an idea to have a few of them about and sort of have it as the kind of the mechanism that keeps the water around and stops the whole lake sort of freezing. But
mhm.
we never got we sort of like kept it with just the one, I think.
And
But
that
it's a nice little moment there.
I know. Speaking to that, you were really putting it out here at the very last couple of
Oh,
days trying to get this
definitely,
done. This
yeah.
was down to the wire.
This was definitely a speed build near the end, and I mean, despite that, I'm still really proud of how much I got done and how much we as a team sort of contributed to it. And
Yeah, absolutely. I love the
yeah, that last week was stressful, but
Yeah,
But
it
still
went
really happy.
from well, I think you posted on some of the topics the kind of where it was and where it ended up, and it's pretty
Yeah, yeah.
staggering how much different it is. But
Mm,
love this kind of stuff, like the chain over the Ferris wheel,
yeah.
just and using the Ferris wheel sort of to advantage, like with the RMC track over top here, it just looks nice.
Mm,
Got
mm.
a good feeling to it. But this coaster was cool. I remember
Yeah.
when we were
Yeah, you helped a bit, I think, on the layout,
yeah
sort of plotting out how sort of potential
yeah, because we were all sort of
avenues.
struggling with where it goes
Mm,
from this building, and then I kind of plonked down well, what if it looks like this, maybe,
yeah.
and then Zara took that and turned it into his own thing, and added this kind of cool hack where one of the trains is forwards and one of the trains is backwards, and they
Yeah,
take
that's
sort of
something that we really wanted to keep in there as well.
yeah, so they take these sort of separate routes, and there's a couple of different split points here, and then you've got this great triple launch sequence here. I love this back
Mm.
spike up the tower there, and the way that it kind of wraps around all the different parts and pieces.
Yeah, it is a really sort of nice smooth layout. Sort of reminds me of some of those old school LL sort of launching layouts, just using twister track and doing all sorts of spikes and hacks and
Yeah, it's a
things.
very adventure ride type layout. I think we
Yeah,
would
yeah,
probably call it. Couple cool coasters, anyways. Zara did his mock
yeah.
water coaster layout here, the Pulsar, which
Yeah, I've got no idea how that works, but it was. He said he had to do it, I think, twice or something, and
I
it's
reverse
honestly
engineered
really
it one time when he did it,
fantastic.
and it was complicated to say the least. I have
Yeah,
not ever attempted it myself, but this is what he's good at, so I let him go to town.
yeah.
But that was a cool one too. Probably a little.
The Starflyer as well is one of the best hacks I've seen in the park. It's
Mm,
crazy how it's so smooth as it goes
yeah,
up.
yeah, that's always a challenge for sure to get those right. And
Mm.
I think this is one of the nicest looking ones of these that I think we've seen because I've always just kind of done it as a continuous helix all the way up and then sort
Yeah,
of split.
yeah,
So I think he's gone up one flat three, up one flat three, and it's just it really
and yeah, split it off into 4 cars, I think, or
yeah,
yeah.
it looks great. He did definitely did that well. And then we have our mine train here, sort of like buried in the ice. It's another
Mm.
interesting hacked coaster, but I love the stuff you put on top of this here. The
Oh yeah, the big sort of astronomy tower with the sort of balloon station there.
But and I like the fact that a lot of the buildings have a little bit of snow cover on them, but they're not just like totally
Mm.
heaped in snow, so you still get all the cool
Mm.
architectural details. I love these little kind of like bay windows almost sticking out and the kind of warm fuzzy
Yeah,
yellow.
yeah.
Um, it certainly works really well for the whole space. See if it's gonna roll off soon because this has got a cool lift hill worth seeing. This is
Mm.
a nice interaction right here with the helix on the mine train and the kind of dive loop
And
thing.
yeah, yeah.
One's cool. Well, speaking of speed build, what are some of the things that you wanted to stick in here that you didn't get a chance to, maybe?
I think fleshing out more of the mine scenery was something I would have liked to see. Definitely some more of the landscaping is a bit rough here and there. It's sort of a mix between quarter tile stuff and full tile, sort of standard stock
Mm-hmm.
RCT landscaping.
Yeah, and then you went back and updated this, so we're looking
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the map that actually went up against the tile inspector's map. But you went back and you updated it, added some
yeah.
landscaping,
I'd sort
added
of
some
just
other.
polished it off a bit and
Mhm.
added bits here and there.
But I'll put a link to that as well, so then
Yeah.
anybody can download that because I think it's worth seeing what a little bit of challenge or a little bit of difference makes.
Mm.
So this vertical lift was pretty cool. It's a little bit off sync just because
Yeah.
we've been viewing for a
Yeah.
minute, but that's
And I think it was a very sort of quick,
yes,
well, it was a difficult hack for Zara at the end in the final
yeah,
day.
yeah, quite a challenge
But
there. But
it's updated on the newer version. But yeah, it's a
okay,
really sort of fun hack. And that same, the mine train and the ice blocks falling was custom vehicles. I only learned how to use the vehicle maker in a week or so before the deadline or
That's crazy.
something like that. So I'm really
It,
proud of those, I think.
it's amazing how head to head pushes everybody to just do
Yeah,
all this stuff. I
yeah,
mean,
it sort of forces you to learn new things
well, and you were
quicker than you ever would.
you are an object master MVP this
Yeah,
whole time. I mean, I don't know how many.
yeah, I'm shocked that I've never tried to look into exactly how to do the object make like the ride making. I always
Mm,
assumed it was a bit too sort of in depth, and because I
it's
know, yeah, like X7 and Space Space K do sort of like 3D programs with theirs,
mm,
but I use the Buggy's ride maker with the same as sort of Rumi and Split Vision use, I think.
mm. But it turns out, as long as they look good, then that's really
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
looking for. So you got some of this kind of industry type stuff, things going on. You've got your
hmm
empty coal transports going through here, and then it's going to
yeah.
pop out the other side
That's
with
another,
full ones.
yeah, another nice hack with it filled, and then it sort of dumps off
Yeah,
the
if you
coal at the refinery, sort of, or the power plant area.
were magically filled, this is using
Mm.
the same concept as Liam's team's Tomato Park.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
same sort of deal on that. And so you guys were sort of starting to get at this like mechanism industrial complex going on and how this
yeah.
city
Sort of a
was
central
existing.
area to the city.
Hmm.
And we wanted to try and get sort of an actual, I don't know, a mechanism for how it sort of generates power and things like that.
Yeah, and those kind of nice touches, like these couple of columns with the fire coming out of the chimneys there, and
Mm.
everything else really hints at that nicely because it kind of explains a little better what is this city doing in the middle of the ice and why is it getting
Yeah,
attacked and all of those sorts of things, and certainly things that I'm sure you wish you could have fleshed out a little bit better over time.
yeah,
But
yeah. So yeah, one of the things we wanted was more sort of siege ideas. So I think we had a couple ideas. One was like a big sort of ship, enemy ship attacking and
mhm.
breaking the boom chain in the docks.
Oh
Another one
yeah.
was, yeah, yeah. I think that's what we originally set it up for.
Mhm.
We had an idea of sort of like airships or smaller airships dropping cannons and bombs and things. But
That's cool stuff. And then
yeah, at the end of the day, we didn't really get a chance to sort of implement those in a meaningful way. So that's sort of like one of the big criticisms of the park was that it doesn't really feel like it's under siege or anything.
right, and I think certainly given additional time, you can kind of get there.
Hmm.
But this is a fun little coaster that we didn't have
Yeah,
a lot of time to get running initially, but in the fixed uploaded version, it's going good.
yeah, it sort of stalls underground, I think.
I love this type of coaster just because it's you don't really ever see it, so it's kind
Hmm.
of nice there. And for whatever reason, I was a huge fan of this cool like trench here that you can almost barely see, but going under
Yeah,
these turbines and everything, I just
yeah, I really liked how I managed to squeeze that in between everything and sort of bury it into the city almost.
yeah, it actually really once you get into the city and explore things a little bit in here, I love the kind of wintry landscape going on with the trees and everything. It just
Hmm.
that blue sets off very nicely against all your colors, especially those sort of deeper reds and things.
Yeah.
Again, coming back to this building just because that's my favorite, but it sits really well with the color that you have. Just a lot of the moving stuff is great. All the
Yeah.
little stacks, the conveyor belts, all the
Yeah.
different parts and pieces. Do you have a personal favorite in anything in the park?
That yellow building at the bottom, that sort of square with the 3x2 and the 2x2, was something I thought, oh, I can't really use this yellow color. It looks a bit too sort of poop brown. But I think that turned out really nicely, to be honest.
Yeah, actually, it does. It's an interesting color yellow that I don't really think you
Yeah.
can get away with in a lot of instances, but I think it looks very nice here, and I love
Yeah.
the kind of multifunctionality of this here with the obvious usage as a docking station underneath, kind of
Mm,
inside, and
mm,
then these sort of peaked arched windows, kind of fancier architecture and everything,
yeah.
which fits the whole kind of overall feel. I kind of feel like this one is going back to round two. We had Aqua Alta, or the title inspectors did. This sort of feels like the cold version of that, and
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. kind of still plays with the same sort of steampunky themes, but I think we got a pretty good balance with the ice and
Yeah, for
stuff to keep
sure.
it looking fresh and that. Yeah.
The balloons are nice, and then this conservatory here with the kind of
Mm.
humidity and steam on the
Yeah.
inside
Yeah.
is a clever show there to show that it's
Yeah. A
actually
lot of
got some
sort of
heat to it.
exotic plant shop it's meant to be, I think. So
Clever. I do like that. Very nicely detailed. Um, but it turned out well for
yeah.
the amount of rushing that we did to get this across the line. I mean, really, you specifically kind of dragging it across the
Mm.
line. I think it turned out really, really well. For
Yeah,
everything as
I'm
ours
really
kind of.
proud of it, and I'm proud of Bubsy and Sammy and Zara and being really instrumental in the park as well.
Yeah, it was a good push. It was unfortunate that we ended in a loss, but we also went up against a really strong park that
Yeah, yeah. I don't
you
think
know.
even with a week extra, it would be difficult to push a win against the one that it went up against,
And it's
Madonnax.
always hard to go up against the team that's into the had the best rankings throughout the round
Yeah,
robin. So
yeah,
it's I think it's a respectable showing anyway, and he still garnered a fair number of votes, which
mm,
is good. I think certainly speaks to the quality of this, and certainly I think this hangs up there as one of the stronger parks in the contest. So I
yeah,
think congratulations to that. But
yeah. It's definitely some of my own best work, especially with the waterfront down there.
mhm,
It's some of
yeah.
my own favorite buildings in the contest.
Absolutely, I think this really, and this is what I chose for the thumbnail of this video too, just down here, because I think it's
Mm,
just such nicely fleshed out architecture and colors and just everything else, how it all works together. It's just kind of there's more to just the building and the construction. There's a
mm,
lot of that sort of thing that's also got to get thought through, but turned out well.
yeah.
But, well, cool. Well, I think that pretty well covers it. Anything you'd like to add
Hmm.
as parting
Uh,
thoughts?
nothing much. Just thanks for having me, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
Really
that's
glad to sort of give my thoughts, and it's nice to sort of review the park from a distance
yeah,
in a
given a
way.
couple weeks out now since the
Mm,
contest has ended, and you can kind of have that clarity now, looking back on everything, and it's nice to look back and kind of see what was good, what was you needed adjustment,
yeah,
or just
yeah.
ideas for
Things that
next
are.
time.
Mm,
So always helps. But honestly, pleasure to have you on the team. It was a good time. I think this
yeah,
contest
yeah.
around,
I've had a
and
really good contest, to be honest. First
yeah,
time in head to head.
yeah. So hopefully 3 years time we'll get you in the next
Mm,
one. But all right. Well, thank you very much for joining, and
all right.
we will end it here. So thank you everybody for watching. Next video coming up is the semifinals round two. So that is the Serial Killers versus the Adventurers Club. So look out for those videos on the way. So until next time, thank you very much for watching, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye now.